Good evening. We're going to try something a little different here tonight. Let us know what you think. While we're waiting for everyone to show up, here's a little bit of music interlude. When it goes, we go live. Tonight's subject, bringing it home. What's that mean to you? Good evening, Pamela. We'll be starting here in just a minute. Good evening from Tacoma. My name is David Strider. I'm running for the U.S. Senate, representing the people of Washington. My opponent, Maria Cantwell, two-term Democratic senator, a superdelegate who voted against the people of Washington, pretty much telling us we didn't know any better. 2016, it revealed itself that the DNC didn't care how we voted, and so you can see what I'm up against. For those of you who are here in the Tacoma, Washington area, I could use your help, some volunteer help. If you're able to, go to my .com or go to this page, and we'll get your information, and we'll be contacting you as to how you can help. I also want to, my campaign manager also asked me to do this. If you can, go to our .com and donate whatever you can. I'm hoping for volunteer staff, and because we are financing this ourselves, meaning I am, um, they would like for me to have the ability to travel to all those small towns across this great state so that I can meet these people that I have said that I want to. We'll be having appointments coming up here soon, meeting with the local city councils and mayoral offices soon. And those will be nights, and we'll let you know ahead of time, nights that we will not be broadcasting, but will have a pre-recorded message to send to you. But we'll be visiting with some of the local municipalities. Hopefully we'll meet some shakers and movers there, okay? When you believe that you can, it will happen. I also want to talk tonight about bringing it home. Bringing it home means what to you? What does it really mean to you, bringing it home? Does it mean bringing home the bacon? It could be a number of things that we refer to as that. And so I want to make sure that we touch on those things, about things that are important to us. Here in the state of Washington and along the West Coast, here recently down in Oregon, which when I was younger, I called it oregano. And it wasn't until I got out here that I realized that was not the pronunciation of the state. It's Oregonians. No, it's oregano. I mean, no, it's Oregon. And they're having quite a time down there with wildfires. And here today, a forest bordering both our boundaries on our states have jumped the state line. And so we have a runaway fire down on the Washington-Oregon border. And I wasn't trying to add slight to the folks down in Oregon, because when I was referring to as oregano, it's one of the main spices for Italian-style food, for those of you who like to go to Italian restaurants or fix it yourself. Now, what I'd like to do, and thank you, Pamela, I appreciate that. I appreciate that voice of confidence. I appreciate that. Here later on, we'll have someone signing in on our page here. He is my campaign manager, and he will be hopefully getting information to me fast enough that I'll be able to answer questions so they don't build up. Bringing it home to me is more than just getting the bacon and bringing it home. What it means to me is protecting the communities that we live in, supporting the communities we live in, the small businessmen, being there when a neighbor is in need and not asking for things in return. Being a neighbor is more than just living in a house or apartment next to people you're close to. Sometimes apartment living or condo living can be a little bit trying, but when we think about each other a little bit more, and as a parent, grandparent, I believe in making sure that my children didn't make a whole lot of noise. There were times when you could be rambunctious, and that's why I preferred a ground floor apartment when I was living in condos and apartments. But there was also that time out, time to get ready for bed, time to get ready for school, those kind of things. And so we need to be a little bit more considerate of each other's space when we're packed in there like sardines, sometimes it feels like. But with the wildfires going on, today I went out, as I did the day before, and there was a layer of ash on my vehicles. Now, I'm not the only one, so I'm not complaining. But we had a fantastic cookout on Sunday. I mentioned it on one of the broadcasts the other day that we were having a cookout, and we had a nice turnout for our neighborhood. We had food. I mean, we had all kinds of different styles of food. And it was a very delicious day. We even had one of the council candidates for our district, seat number 4. We got a chance to meet that candidate. A lot of her views mirror my own. And having someone that is progressive like that, also a veteran, who has also been on the Board of Education and helping guide us there. I think that she'd make a fine addition to our council. Bringing it home means, and her name is Catherine Uska. I have a link on my page. Go check her out. If you're in the Tacoma area and you are in our district, please register, make sure to vote, and support Catherine in her bid for council position number 4 in the city of Tacoma. Bringing it home means coming safely home. Bringing it home is taking care of the families. Bringing it home, taking care of your seniors. Bringing it home means so many different things to so many of us. And that is what I'd like to know from you tonight. Bringing it home. If you don't have fresh, clean drinking water, you have nothing to go home to after 3 days. That's cold hard facts, people. That is cold hard facts. You can get by on trace amounts to keep your blood flowing, but sooner or later that trace amount isn't going to help one bit because the rest of the body has dried up and deteriorated. Your organs start to die. Without water, we have no life. If we have water and it's polluted, that we can't consume it, and industry doesn't want it, and they're the ones who did it, what do? Right now, we have an LNG plant going in here in Tacoma. We're talking about bringing it home. Having fresh water to drink is our right. It's our right. It's everyone's right in the world. Rationing of water is not acceptable in my eyes. When you start taking the basic necessities away from those who only want to see tomorrow, and you want to destroy them, isolate them, kick them out of our country, and I apologize, I brought in our country. When you do those things to individuals or to different groups, like the Indian of Dhaka, if you do that, what have you done to those people who have worked hard, very, very hard? Mr. President, you have a lot of nerve. Every one of your wives, I believe, except for one, has been an immigrant. And the only reason she got here is because you have lots of money. It was your money that got your wives here so quickly. And it would be nice if they knew a little bit more about American history. I am married to a woman who is an immigrant. She is still learning. She is still learning. When she says, God bless America, she means it. When she says, hoorah, Marine Corps, she means it. Because of me, she is now tied to our history. Because of her, I am now tied to her history. Because of her, I am tied to her family. Because of me, she is tied to my family. Bringing it home. How we treat those lesser than us or without, or envy those who have so much, and I don't. If I didn't earn it, I don't want it. If it's a gift, I will not question it if it came from a friend, family member, or something like that. But a stranger, you come up and you give me a gift, I'm overwhelmed, I'm shocked, and I really can't accept it. The thing that I can accept, though, is your friendship, your honesty and integrity. That I can accept with no problem, because I'm going to give the same back to you. But you cannot buy me. I will not let you try to buy or influence anyone in my family or my friends. I would do my best. Bringing it home. When we bring it home, we're bringing home to our neighborhood, to our friends, to our families. We're bringing home to them the things that mean most to them. Daddy's home safe. Mama got home safe. We had a great game today. Yeah, you should have seen it. I know you had to work, but we have another one coming up this weekend when you're off. Bringing it home. How many parents have lost and missed opportunities because they were trying to bring the bacon home? How many? A lot. And I'm sure everyone out here listening to us tonight know exactly what I'm talking about. Bringing it home. Bringing it home is good jobs, careers. And we've had our industry dismantle factories, show the people who bought the company in another land how to operate the equipment, and then our unemployment only lasts for 26 weeks. Nice career package, nice separation package, huh? 26 weeks of unemployment, food stamps, Medicaid cards, whatever you can get, because suddenly you don't have insurance either for health. Bringing it home. Somebody brought it home that night, and it wasn't you. I've seen wages stagnant. I know how hard the working class work here in Washington. And I know that there are people out there who also realize that I could come in tomorrow, or they're hearing the rumor mill going around saying, oh yeah, they're going to be cutting back. And you think that you're relatively safe. And instead of laying off, maybe they'll start discharging people for infractions, things they didn't do, things they didn't get accomplished, compromising the integrity of the mission that was set before them. That way they can contest their firing and their unemployment. If you've ever had that done, you know it's not fun. You know it's not good. But I will say one thing, that our unemployment bureaus are starting to get onto the trace of employers, especially those who ship jobs overseas and are profit orientated, leaving out the worker and applying the hatchet to whoever needs to in order to get that profit line up. Bringing it home. Bringing home an unemployment check is not what you wanted. Bringing it home, coming to find out that your insurance doesn't cover this because it's pre-existing. What are we going to bring home to our state tonight? We're going to fight the LNG. We're going to get a proactive body of people in our council that are not gilded in corporate money. A mayor who is going to actually look out for the people. A port authority that's going to look out for the people. You pollute the water and it catches on fire, you're not going to have no shipping because nobody wants to come in and take the chance of catching on fire while they're in port. It's a nightmare if you're out at sea, but if you're in port and you catch on fire, my goodness, what's going on here? Bringing it home means taking care of your environment. Making sure that we have water to drink and not letting corporations and industry poison our water or use up our water, which increases our water rates exponentially over time. Because if they use our aquifers, they step up their production and they use up the water in our aquifers, where are we going to get the water? That's what I'm asking right now. Our leaders in Tacoma, our leaders in Pierce County, our leaders in Washington State, I'm asking you right now, you let industry take all of our water, what are we going to drink? They're not going to have any employees. This unbridled use of our resources with no consideration as to what it's going to have as far as ramifications ramifications to the people who live here. Those days of forgetting about the people and only thinking about the profit or the tax rate that you're going to give these people are over. They are over. Those days are gone. Don't think about them coming back. Not while I live my life and breathe. It is not going to happen. Even if the whole state catches on fire and burns to the ground, I'll have a mask on and you will hear my voice. You'll see me out on the street. We have to protect our environment. We have to recover our environment. And when we have leaders in there, like Catherine and I mentioned earlier, that is a step in the right direction. And we need to do that all across the country. I'm hoping that a block of us running for office here in 2018, I hope that a block of us can go to Washington, D.C., a block of us working for the people and against the Citizens United and the super PACs. I want that block of people to go. And there are progressives all over the state that are running against current incumbents. Vote for the progressives. I've met a few, read up on a few of them here. Research. Washingtonians, research these people. And if you are watching and you don't live here in the state of Washington, share this with any friends or family that you may have in Washington. Okay? Please do that. It's important to take back our government on all levels. Going to Congress with a block of Congress people and a new independent senator, we could do some damage, folks, against those who would take from us and destroy this nation. We can form a block on some of the BS that's been coming down from the White House. We can work together and we can overcome this setback that we've had because of our black president. Oh yes, that's right. I said our black president. Our president, our black, Barack Obama was not God and he was not the best president we've ever had. But he is the best president we've had in a very long time. Didn't necessarily agree with everything he said, but what? But what happened? We worked very hard with our president. Then the 2016 primaries, oh my goodness. I'm not going to speculate on what happened and the backdoor dealings and everything. I'm not going to speculate on that. But I do know that when Club DNC decided that their rules didn't pertain to your vote and they were going to use your votes any way they wanted to nominate the person or just totally throw your votes in the can and give it all to we know who, you know who. That's why I'm not in the Democratic Party anymore. That's why I made a public announcement that I resisted, and it wasn't very big. I was an elected office with the Democratic 27th Legislative District. I was a PCO, Precinct Committee Officer. And after the 2016 election, I wasn't going to compromise my integrity and go to every Democrat that was on my list and contact them and say, hey, listen, I'm going independent. I'd like to get your vote. No, I did not do that. That is a conflict of interest to take that information. I believe I shredded it, if I'm not mistaken. I believe I shredded it because they got to meet me face to face. You have to meet me face to face. We're going to Washington. Okay? We're going to Washington. And with us with us, we're taking a bunch of new congressional representatives. We're going to go with them. And we're going to make a beachhead because we are going to be the first truly independent state. We talk about our values. We talk about our ecology. We talk about our environment. We talk about everything. Well, I'm going to do everything I can to hold our state leaders and local community leaders' feet to the fire. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. We're in this together. If you're trying to make a buck off the people of Washington, I suggest you leave. We're not a bedroom community any means. We are a techno community. Our sea, we are international air. We have national parks, state parks. We have a beauty unprecedented. Probably the only one who comes close would be Oregon. But this is our state, and we need to protect it. And we need leadership that's going to help us bring it home. No more money going to outside companies. Quit paying your CEOs and stop paying so many kickbacks. Pay your employees a fair wage. Negotiate fair contracts. Don't put your manufacturing places in right-to-work states without letting that state know, if I come here, I'm sorry, I bring a union with me. Get some spine. Get some backbone. Okay? Spine. People of Washington. Bring it home for us. Bring it home for us. Here in Washington, we have, as I mentioned earlier, I have my house buttoned up. My house is all buttoned up. Why? Because the soot. It is also corrosive to your automobiles. I rinsed my cars off this evening before I came in. I encourage you also in the morning, if you can, to rinse it off. That ash is told on the weather report today when they were talking about the haze and this level smoke and fallout, that it's acidic in nature. You've heard of acid rain. Okay, this is one of the components to acid rain. Those uncontrolled, and we're having unusually high temperatures this time of year here in the Puget Sound, Tacoma, where I live. So the house is buttoned up. No, I don't have air conditioning because I live in the Pacific Northwest. Come on. I got a fan. I've got indoor road circulation, but I don't have air conditioning. Okay. So it makes it a little unique. I told my wife, just go stand in the shower. You know, it'll cool you down. You won't be able to get on your computer, but you'll be cool and refreshed. And I enjoy the heat myself. And that's why I am going up against a two-termer, Maria Cantwell, because I like the heat. I like a good fight. It's been a long time since I've had a good fight. And I'm thankful that you folks are in my corner. We're more than just a contender. We are more than just a contender. Remember that, Washington. We are more than just a contender. We're going to win. We're going to light them up. Okay? We're going to light them up. Now, for all you people out there that are in progressive states, such as where medical marijuana is legalized, recreational marijuana is legalized, I suggest you start looking for those people because of our little man with, talking about Sessions, our Attorney General. He is a weasel. He has money and prisons for profit. No way. No way. Conflict of interest, Mr. Attorney General. Conflict of interest. Resign. Resign, sir. Because if you're still there when I get there, I'm going to do everything I can to bury you. Think about it. You have hurt people. You have hurt people. I do not like this racism that is bubbling up. This is a republic for those of you who want that kind of stuff. This is a republic. Yes, you have freedom of speech. But I'm going to quote a favorite artist of mine, John Lennon. Because if you want money for people with minds that hate, all I can tell you, brother, you got to wait. And if you're waiting on me, don't hold your breath. I don't like those groups. And I suppose if I was younger, I'd be right in their face. But I'm not. I can't. But there are ways of standing up for it. And that's why I'm going to Washington, D.C. with your help. You know why? Because we can make those laws, those hate laws, we can give them teeth. And we're going to get rid of those people in our police forces that are shooting people, murdering people. That's why I'm trying to bring it home for us in Washington so that the people across the nation can also do what we're doing. We have initiative I-940. I encourage you to go to my page and check it out. What it means is we are voting on de-escalating, training these officers to de-escalate. When they walk into the field every day before they leave the clubhouse, they are armed with different weapons. Their most lethal weapon should always be the last choice, not the first choice. The last choice. I look at you officers who go out there and do that as slimy little pukes. You wouldn't last a day in my Marine Corps. You understand me? You wouldn't last a day in my Marine Corps. I'd have you drummed down and I'd had you with a bad conduct discharge, or I would have filed DDs on you. You understand? You do not deserve to serve the people unless it's in orange long johns. You know, the kind they have in prison. Maybe you can get a job there, or maybe you can be a resident at one of Jeff Sessions' prisons. Now, Initiative 940 is a little bit nicer than what I am, and a little bit different than the way I made my comment. And Nina, you are so right. We cannot tolerate bullies any longer. I may be 65 this coming October, but that doesn't mean it. That doesn't mean anything. I may not move as fast, but I still have my heart. I still have the determination, and I still have the voices that you are also speaking out on. Police state? No, I will not allow a militarized police state. That is just one step closer to the SS, the Gestapo, where they can come in and do whatever they want. We want to bring it home. We want to bring safety. We want to bring dreams, talk of dreams, and smile and laugh and have a good time with our family and friends. But we can't do that if some SWAT teams decides that they're going to come through our house and then, oh, sorry, we got the wrong number. Was your home just a random choice? I'm beginning to think that those kind of things, when they happen, let's just mess these people up. Let's just go in and see what we get. Total surprise. We'll know what to do. And if someone gets killed, well, you know, it was a trial and we failed. We're sorry, wrong house. Whoever authorized that attack should have been put in prison. Jail time. Lost their ability to serve the public, lost their badge, their ability to own firearms, lost it. And a major fine, not paid by the public, but they should make themselves have their own insurance. And the insurance company starts paying a few of these claims with no recourse, no public money to fill the coffer back up. Yeah. Initiative 940 in the state of Washington. If you haven't signed it already, please do. If you have not registered to vote for the primaries next year, please do. If you're not registered for the general election, please go to the election board and see if you can still make it. I'm not sure on its cutoff date. I shouldn't be having to tell anybody to get there. I shouldn't have to tell you. You should want to do something about your country. You should want to be able to do something about your community. I shouldn't have to tell you you have to vote. I have voted every time that I could since I was 18. Now, I'm not saying you got to be like me, but gosh dang it, don't complain. Don't complain. If you're not going to exercise your democratic right, don't complain. You lost your right. You didn't have to be in the military to complain. You didn't have to be this or be that to complain, but you have to vote. You have to vote. Win or lose. Win or lose, you've got to vote. Then you have that right. But if you're not going to register and you're not going to vote, you keep your mouth shut. Plain and simple. Until you register and until you vote, win or lose, whether your candidate wins or lose, get out there and vote. I'm sorry. I mean, you're messing with other people's rights. You're giving the people that you know more than everybody else, or that you have an inside track as to what's going on. And don't give me this voter apathy BS, okay? You want to change it? I mean, think about it. Think about what happened in 2016. Well, there are people out there like me who are now fired up. There are people here listening tonight that are fired up and are fed up. But you've got to vote. You want to complain? Vote. You want to vote? You've got to register. So I suggest you get down there. And you say, well, I can't vote because of this or that. Well, guess what? That's all part of the judicial reform package that I'm putting together that will restore voting rights for some people. Okay? Haven't determined on what it's going to be, but if on job applications, if they tell you, have you been convicted of a felony in the last 10 years, and then they do a search on you and find out that 15 years prior, 5 years prior to that cutoff date, you had a little incident, it said 10 years. And if you don't answer the question, if you say no, you say, well, we checked on you. No, I'm sorry, I didn't have anything in 10 years. Your question to me, and I answered completely. If that happens to you, let me know. Please, let me know. It's not, I can't represent you in court, but I'll guide you in the right direction, the way you've got to go. I'll tell you what you have to do. We'll talk before I give you advice of that nature. But don't lie. We tell the truth here in this corner. And the corner is getting pretty big. We've had to bring in some traffic cones here lately just so we can handle the crowd. And thank you. Bringing it home. What's it mean to you? And Nina, yes, the vote does count. The vote does count. We are awake. We are watching. We are watching. And people are fed up. No. Now, if I was in the Democratic Party running against Maria Cantwell, yes, I'd wonder if my vote was going to be counted. And please, you other folks that are in the Democratic Party running against Cantwell here in Washington, please do not declare independent. Please do not declare independent, because you're not walking the talk. You're not, I don't know what it is. but I admire you because it is your right to do so. I'm still trying to get the $5,000 together, expenditures and donations, so that I can file with the FEC. And I keep getting expenditures. Sooner or later, sometime next year, I'll be probably end of the year, I'll be able to do my filing. But right now, I have 3 opponents in the Democratic Party who have been able to file. I'm a disabled Marine Corps veteran. I'm a proud veteran. I'm on pension and Social Security. And I'm financing this thing myself. I came out of retirement. I could have stayed in retirement, but I didn't hear anybody speaking what you're thinking. I didn't hear anyone saying and trying to do what you're wanting. So if all you can do is bang on doors and say, hey, I'm here with Dave Strider for U.S. Senate. He's an independent. He wants are you registered to vote? No, I'm not. Well, here, sign up, register. A registration drive if we have to. I need your vote. And I mean, if you got some spare change to throw my way so that I can go to places like Omak, Spokane, Cushman, all these other places, I get very good mileage on my vehicle. I'll make every drop of that petro and energy in my hybrid work really well. I'll get 38 MPGs so we can cover a lot more territory. I want to tell you about, before I go tonight, I've had several people talk to me about MMT. To save me right now. If it meant my life or death, I wouldn't be able to tell you what MMT stands for. But I will tell you this. I had a very good 3-hour session, 2.5-hour session with Joe Firestone on Real Progressives. I'm sorry about that. I was getting comfortable here. But anyway, I learned that some of my ideas, they weren't that far off. But I will tell you this. I learned Monday night that yes, we can have health care for all. Yes, I did learn that we can have free education for all, from K through 6 or 8. Graduate, doctor, lawyer, whatever. Free education. That's right. Now, in future episodes, future nights that we get together, we will make sure what? That we're going to find out how we can have that. It all falls down to the appropriations that Congress makes. When they tell you that we don't have any money, it's because they didn't appropriate it initially. We don't have the money. They didn't appropriate it because you don't mean anything. 1,000,000 metric tons. I'm sorry, Sally. That's it's a economic theory, monetary theory, and I've been asked several questions about it, and I found out. And oh, my vehicle, Nina. I want to make sure I get this stuff here. Life is learning. Okay. Thank you for the heart. 1,000,000 metric tons. I think we're okay. Modern monetary theory. Welcome aboard, Greg. Anyway, I had a very good discussion with that the other night. Very good discussion. And I found out that it's all done in appropriations. And when we don't have the money, midterm or whatever, we have an emergency funding bill, it's because they didn't fund the government all the way. They wanted to create a crisis to make it look like they're actually doing something. Guess what? We're going to stop that. We're going to stop that, okay? Plain and simple. We're going to take Washington, the progressives on the ballot for 2018. We're going to go to Washington. I'm going to the Senate, and we are going to do some stuff, okay? Plain and simple. We're going to make sure that the funds are appropriated. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're going to make sure that they're appropriate. We're going to call them out for their lies. We will be calling them out for their lies. Yeah. And we're going to campaign the following term with their opponents in their states. That's right. We need a progressive government, one that looks out for the people, so that you and I, but especially you, can bring it home. Now tonight, those of you who came early, I was trying something new to fill in the gap while we were waiting for people to arrive. There was music playing in the background. Now, I didn't cue up the ending, but I should be able to get something going here real quick. Just give me a second, really quick. Cue it up. I don't have a sound engineer tonight. Hi, I'm Dave. I'm the sound engineer tonight, and I apologize for not making that cue for you in the proper moment. A monetary sovereign nation is not financially restrained. Yes, that's right, Pamela. The real constraints are the real resources and full employment. From what I learned the other night, we have approximately 15 to 20 trillion dollars that we can actually spend based on our GNP. And we're not utilizing that. We could have our highway bill funded. We could have everything funded. We could do our infrastructure, our education, our health. Yeah. So, and I'm not running away, Nina. I just reached over there to get it. But no, we appropriate those funds. We are the richest nation in this world. Okay, even with the 1 and 2% taking our industry and shipping it overseas. Now, I'm thinking that they can be enticed to come back and build all new factories using alternative fuels such as solar and wind to generate their steam factories and smelters. If you've ever seen arc welding or MIG welding, that's electricity making that flame, melting that steel. We can use electricity in our steel mills, so we don't use fossil fuels to melt it down. Yes, the money we get as needed, and it goes into like a pocketbook, like a little bank, a little piggy bank or something, so that it's there to use it. I'm not using the correct terms, but yes, there is no way, shape, or form that we cannot fund everything that we as Americans have been stolen from in the last 40 years. We can build our infrastructure. We can build our highways, our airports, our waterways. We can clean up our water. We can have education for all, no charge, all the way up to a doctorate degree if they want. Most of them will just go to trade schools, you know. We need good tradesmen. Education, we can fund our education completely instead of just having Christian churches, okay? Separation of church and state, but well, that's another subject. But here we go. We have our education, our health care, senior benefits, the Social Security, all of that can be taken. Okay? I want to give you an example. I want to give you an example that was given to me the other night. We have the Treasury print us up a 1-ounce platinum coin. And we set the face value of that platinum coin at $100 trillion. No one will question it. We'll use it. And if we need another one the next year, we'll make another one. What did I just say? We are the greatest economic power here in this world. We were once on the gold standard, and it wouldn't do us any good to come back to the gold standard unless we pulled our military all the way back to our shores. Quit paying governments to like us. And yes, education for all. Single payer now. Well, you don't have to. According to this information that I got the other night, you might have a copay. But because of your Social Security number, you're all tied into that system. And so the money is also forecasted as to what's going to happen. And so that can be in the budget. But as that goes, we have the ability to finance everything we need. One of the wisest Republicans that I ever got a chance to read about, I didn't always agree with him, but he beat the Nazis, okay? He beat the Nazis. His planning, his diligence, and his mission and vision. We were able to defeat the Nazis. But we couldn't have done it without the Soviet Union. We could not have done it without them. They sucked the life out of Hitler's armies. They just sucked it right out. Made it easier for us to make that D-Day landing. Made it easier for us to do the Anzio. Made it easier for us to go into North Africa. We don't have to worry about the things we need in this country anymore. Your vote for me, for U.S. Senate in the state of Washington, your financial support will help me get the word out to Washington. When I have a town hall, look for me in your town, Washingtonians. I'm not going to go just to big clubs and everything. I'm going to come to your little barbecue place that you got. I'm going to come to your school, and we're going to talk how things are going on in your community. Why? Because we want to bring it home. Now, for those of you who tuned in late, let's see what we got here now. Not going anywhere, not going anywhere. And if you like the music, this is royalty-free music. Okay, so we'll be putting that out there here in a little bit. But we have a few minutes before we go. Are there any other questions out there? You know, the whole world sat back and allowed that to happen. Okay. And what of nuclear power? No, it is not. We have the Hannaford out here. We're talking about bringing home, talking about Washington State tonight. We have Hannaford. It is it's one of the highest polluted places in our country. Okay? It's one of the highest polluted places in our country. It's leaking. People are dying. People are not getting their medical claims. They're saying, no, that didn't happen here. There's no place to put it. So what alternatives do we have as far as nuclear waste? We need to re-engineer it, reverse engineer it, make it safer. We can do it. We made it. Let's do it. And if it's radioactive, then use it to make other fuel, but get it outside of our nation. If you're wanting to do something with Mars, send carbon atomic bombs there to help atmosphere. You know, create a greenhouse effect on Mars. Not here. Send it there. Okay. As far as the incumbent, what has she done poorly, and what is your platform that will allow you to do better for your constituents? So first of all, she failed to listen to us in 2016. She went with Hillary Clinton. And I can't really say that she's done anything for me as a United States Marine Corps veteran. She has not stood up for anybody. She also voted down against the pharmaceutical drugs that we could have gotten from Canada at a much cheaper rate. Yeah, Maria Cantwell hasn't done anything. She has a lot of money, but she hasn't done anything. She's cozy, and she thinks she's going to win. She is an incumbent, and if you look at the recent stats on Democratic elections, they spend a lot of money. They do spend a lot of money. She voted against the people here in 2016. After we worked so hard, 73% in my district, the 27th, went with Bernie. We went to the convention in Philadelphia, Bernie, Bernie. Only to see Bernie have a gash on the side of his face. Did he threaten his wife? Did they threaten his wife? Did they hit Bernie? I don't know. Don't do that to me. Don't try to sucker punch me. Don't try to threaten my family. And if you do it without me seeing your face, you're a coward. Plain and simple, you're a coward. Okay? Don't come into my quarter. Don't threaten my people. Don't threaten my state. Don't threaten my family. Don't threaten me. I don't take kindly to threats. Okay? Oh, Russia? No, I don't think that I would want to fight Russia because China would sit back and wait for us to nuke each other to death and then move in. Or if we attack North Korea, we have both China and Russia to fight. We go into Syria, we have Russia to fight. No wars, no more. I'm tired of seeing mothers cry because their child has died. I'm tired of seeing fathers weep because their son's no more. No wars, no more. Can you take it anymore? Yeah. Well, Mars was because it is a dead planet. I was trying to figure out a compromise on how we could possibly get a greenhouse effect. But yes, save this planet. Save the water. If you see water protectors and you have a case of water in your car, give them a few bottles. If you can spare the whole case, spare that. Oh, corporate cash, yes. She has $5 million in her coffers right now, Pamela. Um, the others, I do not know, but I believe she was at $5 million the last count. And a lot of that is big pharma money, money from Boeing and other corporations, super PACs, super donors with no limitations as to what they can give. And I want her to spend every penny of that, and owe that much more. I want her to do that because that money that she owes will come back to the people of Washington, who she has neglected for 12 years. Hi, Maria. We got birthdays coming up, you and I. October 13th, your birthday, my birthday. Let's get together, have a nice debate, and celebrate our birthdays over a good herbal tea or some Starbucks coffee, or maybe I'll bring my own coffee from Thailand. But let's get together and talk to the people, you and I, Maria. Yes, I do want you to spend $12 million on your campaign to win the Senate seat. I certainly do. Gigi Ferguson is also running. Yes, I believe there is a girl by the name of Ferguson running. Yes. I like her. Okay. I like her, but I'm in a good fight right now. And I have, at this point, nothing to say about Gigi except that I've met her and I like her, but I'm not voting for her. At this point, when the Democratic Party can choose who they want in an election, yes, it's useless, in my opinion. But remember, this is America, and you have your choice to do what you want to do. You have the choice to make your vote. If you want to belong to a political party, you can. That's your choice. But when you make your choice, think about whether or not it's hurting your neighbor. Think about how it's going to affect you long term down the road. Think about when they tell you they don't have the money, and I told you tonight, we've got all the money we need to make this country great again. It's not a baseball hat either. It's not a baseball hat. Next year, we'll be having T-shirts, part of our fundraiser, because we're winding down here in the summer and the fall, and T-shirts just aren't really applicable going out in winter weather here in the Northwest. This spring, though, we'll have we'll be putting on online some of the things that you can show your support. If you want a hat, you better come up with a good design, okay? But T-shirts, we've thought about some different things. I am Strider, for those people being able to vote in the state of Washington, or just the name, Strider. We've been thinking about that, different color schemes, that type of stuff. So if you get a chance, visit those progressives here in the state that are running, that pretty much have the same platform and drive that we have right now. Support them. I'm going against the Dems, and if a Republican shows up in there, I'm against them too, plain and simple. Well, folks, thank you for being here. I'm trying not to badmouth the Dems because I really like some of them to come and vote and join this movement that I have, my independent run for the U.S. Senate in the state of Washington. And without further ado, music to close by. We're going to try to open it every night. Let me know your feel. It's all instrumental, no words or anything like that. Let me get that started. But in the meantime, if you got a question, put it down there so I can answer it. Here we go. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow at 8. We're still going to be talking about bringing it home because a lot of us aren't able to do that anymore. Good night. Be close to those you love.